In the village of Umudimkpa, where ancient forests pressed against farmlands like dark waves against a shore, three young friends would learn why their elders always said some paths should never be walked. Obinna, Chinua, and Adanna were known throughout the village as inseparable friends, each 13 harvest seasons old. Obinna was the warrior's son, fearless to a fault. Chinua was the Dibia's apprentice, already learning the ways of herbs and spirits. Adanna was the palm wine tapper's daughter, clever and quick, with eyes that missed nothing. Their adventure began when Obinna's younger sister Chioma fell ill with a mysterious fever. The village Dibia had tried every remedy, but the sickness only grew worse. Each night she would speak in voices not her own, telling tales of a darkness that hungered. One evening, while helping his master, Chinua overheard the Dibia telling the elders that only the rare night-blooming Udara flower could save the girl. The problem was, these flowers grew in only one place, the heart of the darkness grove, a part of the forest where even hunters feared to tread. The three friends made a plan. They would sneak out during the next new moon to find the flower. Chinua knew what it looked like from his training. Obinna had his father's old machete. Adanna brought her grandfather's ancient copper bracelet, said to protect against evil spirits. They set out at midnight when the village was asleep. The forest at night was different, alive with sounds they'd never heard before. Strange lights flickered between trees and shadows moved against the wind. They followed a narrow path marked by white mushrooms that glowed faintly in the dark. The first warning came when they heard children's laughter echoing through the trees. Impossible, since no children would be in the forest at night. Adanna's copper bracelet grew cold against her skin. Then they saw them, small figures darting between trees, leaving footprints that filled with dark water. Deeper they went, where the trees grew so thick their branches wove together like a roof. They found remnants of old shrines, clay pots with unreadable symbols, and bones that Chinua swore were not from any animal he knew. The grove itself appeared suddenly, a perfect circle of trees with bark as black as char. In the center bloomed the Udara flowers, their petals glowing like captured moonlight. But surrounding the flowers were dozens of human-like figures, frozen mid-dance, their bodies made of twisted vine and root. As they watched, one of the figures moved, then another, and another. The dancers began to shuffle toward them, roots tearing from the ground with each step. A voice like dry leaves whispered, "Fresh blood comes to the grove, young blood, strong blood." Chinua began to chant protective prayers his master had taught him. Obinna raised his machete, but it was Adanna who saved them. She remembered an old song her grandmother used to sing, a prayer to the earth goddess. As she sang, her copper bracelet began to glow with an inner fire. The dancers stopped. The voice spoke again, this time like multiple voices layered together. The old songs. You remember the old songs? A path opened through the dancers to the flowers. They understood this was a test. Those who remembered and respected the old ways would be granted passage. They took only one flower, leaving an offering of palm wine and cola nuts in return. As they turned to leave, the voice spoke one last time. "The darkness grows beyond our grove, the old songs fade, remember us." They made it back just before dawn. The Udara flower saved Chioma's life, though she never remembered her time in the fever dreams. The three friends told no one about that night, but they kept their own traditions after that. Each new moon, they would leave small offerings at the forest's edge, singing the old songs so they would never be forgotten. Years later, when they had children of their own, they taught them the songs, telling them that some paths through darkness can only be lit by remembering what came before. And sometimes, on very quiet nights, those who know how to listen can still hear the grove dancers shuffling between their trees, keeping their eternal vigil, waiting for those who remember the old songs.